Last night was the PlayStation State of Play, where we not only got our first new trailer in a long time for the Silent Hill 2 remake, which showed a lot of combat. I did react to that trailer, so you should check that out. But we also got shadow dropped a brand new Silent Hill game, the first Silent Hill game in 12 years, and it was completely free for PlayStation users. Needless to say, I played it a lot last night, and I played it a lot more this morning, and I'm going to review it for you guys. I'm going to show you some gameplay for it. I'm going to talk about it. But before I do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I love the Silent Hill franchise. I talk about it a lot on this page. I talk about horror video games and video games in general a lot on this page. But I also talk about movies and TV shows, so just consider subscribing if any of that looks interesting to you. But enough with this intro. Let's talk about Silent Hill, the short message. So what is this game? Is it a full-fledged Silent Hill title? No, not really. It's pretty much exactly what I was expecting it to be, and pretty much what I'm assuming everyone was expecting it to be based on the trailer that we got. It's a walking simulator. And that's pretty much the core of the gameplay, is you're just walking around this drab, depressing apartment building. You're finding notes about how a lot of teenagers like to go up to the roof of this apartment building and jump off of it. You're also finding notes, and you're getting flashbacks to the main character's backstory. You respond to text messages, and you also occasionally get chased by a monster, but those chase scenes aren't really gameplay. It's just you turn around and you follow corridors until the chase scene stops. And again, in terms of gameplay, that's it. That's pretty much all this game has to offer. And I have a feeling that's going to disappoint a lot of people. And if you say that disappoints you, I'm not going to disagree with you. It doesn't really bother me for a couple of reasons. Reason number one being that I had no idea that this game was coming out. Maybe people knew about it. I have no idea. All I know is I didn't know. So I consider this to basically be a freebie, just a free bonus game to play while we wait for the actual big releases. And the second reason is that, again, it's what I was expecting after I saw the trailer. When I saw that trailer, I was expecting it to be very, very short. I was expecting there to be no combat at all, and I was expecting it again to just be a walking simulator. So I went into the game expecting nothing. But I will say this, like I said earlier, I'm a huge fan of horror video games, but I'm not a huge fan of walking simulator, non-combat horror video games. Those are a hard sell for me, and I actually did find myself enjoying this game more than most other games that I've played in this genre. Now let's talk about the main character and the main themes of Silent Hill, the short message, because I have a feeling this is where a lot of people are gonna not like the game. I have a feeling this is gonna be most people's main critique with the game, and it is my biggest critique as well, unfortunately. Now, I'm not going to preach here. I don't want to sound pretentious as hell, but I will say something that I've said before in some of my other Silent Hill videos, is that Silent Hill is at its best when it's subtle. As a franchise, it obviously has a lot of deep themes, a lot of deep meanings, and some of the best, most subtle characterization of any horror franchise ever. And that's why so many people love the Silent Hill franchise, myself included. But the main character in this game and the main themes of this game are so pedestrian, for lack of a better term. The main character is constantly talking about how nobody notices her. She's constantly talking about how she doesn't get enough followers and likes on social media, how she feels like she's not seen. She's always comparing herself to one of her best friends who's an artist and posts her art on social media, and she wonders why her selfie doesn't get as many likes as her best friend's work of art.
Even more followers. No one is ever going to notice me.
Again, these themes aren't what I'm looking for in a Silent Hill game. Again, they're very on the nose. They're very spoon-fed to you. I wish the game was at least subtle with its themes and its meanings. But this game is just so in your face with everything that it's trying to tell you. Like, it doesn't trust that the player is able to piece things together. And you can tell that this game thinks it's a lot more deep and a lot more meaningful than it actually is. Now, granted, the people behind this game did release a statement, and in that statement, they specifically said that this game, this experience, is targeted for a young demographic, a demographic that hasn't probably never played a Silent Hill game before. So I'm gonna respect that. I'm gonna know that I'm not their target demographic for this game, but still, I wish they were more subtle in their themes. I wish the writing was better. But now I want to talk about some of the positives with this game, because believe it or not, I did enjoy this experience overall. I had a good time playing through this. When the game starts, it's your very standard walking sim survival horror game. It runs smooth, it plays smooth, the graphics are surprisingly good, but it doesn't scream Silent Hill. It doesn't feel like you're playing a Silent Hill game right off the bat. But once the game progresses and you get deeper and deeper into this apartment complex, and once the horrors within start to become more and more apparent, I actually started to feel like I was playing a Silent Hill game. The art direction started to really showcase how weird it can be, and the locations around you start to change, and it starts to become less of a mystery and more of a maze of your own personal torment. And that's when I started to think, okay, maybe it's possible. Maybe they know exactly what they need to do to make a modern game still feel like a Silent Hill game. Because again, honestly, narrative and themes aside, the core gameplay and the way that the game progresses gave me a lot of hope for the future of the Silent Hill franchise. So again, the gameplay pacing and the narrative pacing were a lot better than I was expecting. And the level design and the overall atmosphere of the game, the overall atmosphere of this creepy ass apartment building, it gave me the correct feeling. Some other things that I liked, I thought that the use of the cell phone in this game was going to be really, really annoying, but I actually ended up liking it. I like how it played into the story and it helped build up the tension. And also, this game does something that I don't believe any other Silent Hill game has done before. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. But when you die in this game and you respawn, it acts as if you're in a time loop, so the character wakes up after you die and they acknowledge that they just died and they act like they have to go through the same thing again. And I actually really, really like that. Is it the most unique thing in the world? No, but I think it matches the tone and it matches the atmosphere and it matches the themes of Silent Hill perfectly. And I actually wouldn't be upset if they use that in future Silent Hill games. So anyway, I just can't believe that we can talk about a brand new Silent Hill game in 2024. It's insane. It's a great time to be a survival horror fan. Was this a perfect Silent Hill game? Is this the return to the franchise that I was hoping for? No, but it was free and it was significantly longer than I was expecting. I was honestly expecting the experience to be less than an hour, but I think I played through it in close to 4 hours. Now, granted, I tend to play games slower than most people. But despite the criticisms that I have with the narrative and the character and the way that the themes are handled, I did enjoy this a lot more than I thought I was going to, and it does make me feel better about the franchise moving forward. Tell me what you thought about the game in the comments, and again, consider subscribing if you liked this video, and thank you for watching, especially if you watched this far.
I can be like her. Here goes.